Hey everybody, welcome to Magic Monday. How you doing, Lorna?
I am well, Christine. Happy Magic Monday.
Yay. Another gorgeous day.
I know, these weeks go by so quickly. I feel like we do Magic Monday more
Every
often.
day.
Once a week, right?
Yeah, I know.
That might have something to do with our interview series that we're also taping. But
I'm so excited about that. Can't wait to share that with you guys.
yeah, more on that later.
Stay tuned.
So today we are really kind of pulling the curtain back a little. We want to talk about what it is that we do as coaches and what we see in our clients and things that are, in transformational journeys, what is easy or more easy and what's more challenging, what's a little bit more difficult for the clients that we see, the women that we work with in our workshops, in our retreats, and with our private clients.
Right. So the name of the topic you might have seen is why self-help doesn't always stick, right? And it's certainly not for lack of information and lots of tools and resources these days, right? It's fantastic. There's books and workshops and DVDs and podcasts and as self-development junkies, as I'm sure you guys are, we love all that stuff, But I think what we want to talk about and what we love to do and why we do it is Lorna and I like to say that we help you make sense of all of those wonderful, empowering, sensible concepts, right, in your everyday. And how do we do that, and the kind of challenges that we see come through our door, right, and our overarching philosophies, that keep us in this work, keep us in service to you, right? I think that's what we want to share today.
Yeah. And, speaking of overarching philosophies, one of my main ones is that nobody is damaged. There are just some things we need to let go of.
Beautiful.
And depending on how deep-seated it is, the thing that you need to let go of determines how easy or difficult it is to change your behavior and to transform your life.
So let's talk about that. Let's get into a real example around that. So Lorna, you want to share an example about, something that worked for you?
Yeah, I like to use money as an example for me because it was brought to my awareness that my money story as an adult was exactly the same as my parents. That all of the things that I worried about, all the things I stressed about money, it was everything that I had grown up with. And when I looked at that and recognized that my situation was completely different than my parents' situation and that it didn't have anything to do with my actual reality, I was able to just let it go. It was like flipping a light switch. It was just like, okay, all of that can just go away, and I need to be here in what is really happening for me. And so that was something that I consider it was easy. Mm-hmm. But then there's the other side of it, right? Where, Christine, I don't know how you want to introduce the other side of it.
Well, the other side of it is, and we love, the value. And actually that is a fundamental step, is like bringing an awareness to a way of being, a pattern, a habit, a way of thinking that is just, knocking you up, in a bad way. You keep having the same conflicts. So bringing awareness to, my money story, or bringing away to my relationship story, or my, what does it mean to have have purpose in the world story, and all of it, right? To have value in my life. What does it mean to be successful in life, right? To bring awareness to those beliefs is the first part. It's really important, and that takes some time.
Without that, you have nothing.
Without that, you don't have a starting point, right? But from there, especially in my work, so, I work a lot with, women who are trying to lose a bunch of weight, reclaim their health, after certain issues that, whether that's, something that's impacting their daily quality of life, right? But when it comes to what to do, I always say there's no shortage of the doing. There's no shortage even, of tools, eat this, don't eat that, move your body a certain way, get this test, meditate, all of it. But it works until it doesn't work, is what I've seen, right? So we can take all this information in and yes, I'm going to do it. And we hit our stride for a little bit. But there's this thing called self-sabotage, right? And we talk a lot about that. And we say, well, how is it that I say I want one thing, but I go absolutely out of my way to do, make sure I don't have it over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to talk about here. That's not just the light switch that flips on, right? That's having to dive a little deeper and get to what we like to say is the root cause. The root cause, like what is it that keeps allowing you to fall into these patterns? And these patterns are deep. This is not a willpower thing. The fact that, 95% of what we do is on autopilot, is in the subconscious, is habitual, not even aware of the thinking and believing and feeling that we're doing most of our waking time. So we need to dive a little deeper, and we need tools to actually reprogram. Once we're aware we don't want this anymore, we need the tools to rewire the brain and create the new habits.
What you're saying is now we are aware, right? They're not subconscious. We've brought them into the light. But now how to change it? It's not the light bulb, it's not the light switch. How do you change something that is so deeply ingrained in someone? And these are the big ones, right? These are the, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, I don't deserve a good life, life has to be hard. And these are so ingrained in people. How do we change it, Christine?
Right. So the first part essentially is you have to understand that a lot of it is happening on autopilot again, right? It's not just enough in the conscious brain to, take action in the world and do the opposite. That's one of the tools. But what I like to say, is you really kind of have to do some reprogramming there. So one of the ideas, and the science will support this, is you actually have to kind of change your brain a little bit, kind of do a little rewiring going on there, right? So as coaches, we can be your guides in something called NLP, or neuro-linguistic programming, and that actually is that. That's actually using the power of a guided visualization, using the power of imagination, almost taking us back to the skill that we learned when we first learned the behavior. We were like probably 0 to 7, right? We were kind of learning it by almost hypnosis. We were just observing, and we were in that creative mind state. We take you back there, right? So there's guided work through that. But that's based in, visualization and imagery. So all those meditations that you hear about that help you imagine, what would it feel like to be healthy? What would it feel like to have that dream job? What would it feel like to, move, through my day with confidence and feeling self-love, right? What would that feel like? And if we can kind of train the brain to focus on what you want and what you want to feel and how you want things to be, right? Instead of making our case day in and day out of what's not working, right? Mm-hmm. And complaining and blaming, the stuff we've talked about in our previous videos, right? Which takes energy away from that creative process. Because that's really what we're doing. We're taking that awareness and we're saying, okay, great, that blueprint doesn't work. I need a new blueprint. Yeah. And so how do I do that? I go into the creative workings of my mind.
Yes. And this is how we let go of these other things that are not serving us, right? We focus on what we want. And then when we start to have what we want or really embody that, that's when it's just so easy to let go of the other part, because you know that it doesn't have to be your truth anymore.
Right. Because the mind is what kind of gets in the way sometimes, right? So if we take control of the mind and the movie that it's playing for us, right? Then the body comes along for the ride. And then the mind and the body, there's no more incoherence at that point. You're saying, oh yeah, I want to feel good. I want to feel successful. I want to have energy. I want to feel positive. And you find a way to embody that, literally in your physical sensations and your well-being. And again, this is all wonderful, sort of the way we, cook up a new movie in our mind, right? It sort of happens, day by day. But as Lorna liked to say, it's a practice, right?
And it's a practice you must be committed to.
Yeah.
You must be committed to it. And that's why self-help doesn't always stick, because people are not able to stay committed. And
it's a lot easier, right? It's a lot easier to pop on the TV, you know what I mean? Or have that glass of wine, or get caught up on the internet, because it's uncomfortable, wouldn't you say? Change can be, it feels uncomfortable. It's not good or bad, but it's different. Yes. And it's different. Yes. And that's the whole point, is can you be okay with being uncomfortable? Can you be okay with the uncertainty? Can you be okay with, wait a second, this doesn't feel like stable ground right now. This is not normally how I move through things, right?
Right. But the reward is transformation. The reward is feeling better every day, is waking up with that energy, is waking up with that new job or with new abundance or with a new relationship, because you changed the beliefs, because you changed your mind and know that you're worth it.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of this work, and why sticking to it and being committed to it can make all the difference in your life.
Yeah, truly. So we hope that gives you a little insight into, the level of commitment is so commensurate with the level of reward. I guess that's what you want to say. It can be, a challenging journey. It's not a straight line, never really is, but that's why we're here, to take it to that. We are here in these bodies to have an experience of life. And when you recognize, that you are the creator of that, by where you decide to put your focus, your attention, and your energy, it's a pretty amazing feeling.
It's pretty magical.
Indeed.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much. We will see you next week, and we hope that this was helpful and has you committing to your life.
All right, then.
Bye.
Bye now.